Stock is one of the most important flavor profiles in a kitchen, and the better your stock is, the better your final dishes. Welcome back to episode 8 of Fundamental Flavors and Techniques, my series where I teach you professional chef lessons to make you a better cook. And today I'm teaching you about stock. Stock is made by simmering collagen-heavy bones and vegetables for long periods of time until a nice golden broth is formed. For that reason, it's best to use whole chicken carcasses, the spine, neck, feet, all collagen-heavy sort of bones. To make a brown stock, you start by roasting the bones until super nice and golden brown. And to make a white or light colored stock, you just simmer the raw bones into cold water. Always use cold water whenever you're adding into a stock, as it helps solidify the fat and then you can skim it off. So for example, I'm showing you right now a technique called dépouiller, which means that you put in some cold water and it helps the fat and scum rise to the top, and then you skim it off for a nice clean and clear tasting broth. While the light or white broth simmers away, you can really roast your bones for the dark broth. I always like making a white and brown broth at the same time. Roasting the bones until really nice and golden brown gives you a very intense deep flavor, so that means a dark or a brown stock is very different in flavor from a light or a white stock. However, after roasting the bones, the process is the same. You cover it in cold water, bring it up to a simmer, and then keep skimming and adding cold water. You want to do the adding the cold water and skimming process about every 30 to 45 minutes, as it will keep the broth really nice, clean, and clear tasting. And it's important to keep your stock at a simmer, which I'm showing you right now, not a rolling boil, as a boil will break up the ingredients and give you a cloudy and muddy tasting stock. And you can see the color difference between the light stock, which I'm showing you right now, and the dark stock. And what's funny is that this dark stock at this point had literally had 2 hours less of simmering, but you can see that roasting the bone gives it a really nice dark color. I simmer white stock for about 3 to 4 hours, and then I double strain it to get a really nice clean and clear tasting broth. And then the dark stock I strain after about 6 hours, and then because the dark stock is so intense, what I like doing is I actually like taking the strained liquid and putting it back in the pot, and I reduce that liquid by about 1/16 or until it's thick enough to coat the back of a spoon. And this is basically creating like a jus or a glass sort of texture and taste. And because you've evaporated all of the excess moisture, it's now become very intense in flavor, and you can refrigerate it, and then the next day it will turn into this kind of awesome jelly-like texture. So with the light stock, I kind of keep it as it is, and this gives like a really great base for soups, or you can drink it as is or anything you'd like. And then that reduced jelly-like brown stock has literally turned into a block of gelatin, and what I like doing is I like slicing it into little tiny cubes, and then I freeze those cubes. And in essence, I've basically made my own stock cubes that I can then dilute in any water and make a brown stock all over again. It's so convenient, and it's literally so flavorful. You can either melt it into hot water, or you can just add it straight into a sauce and like get ready for such a flavor explosion. And again, like I said, for my light stocks, I like using it as a full-bodied base for any soup. I made this really delicious chicken corn soup, and it was so good. I have a whole chicken stock 101 in my Substack, link is in my bio, and I really hope you found this helpful.